Child of ecstasy and sorrow, O Prince of peace and pain, brighten today's world by tomorrow, renew our lives anew, Lord Jesus Christ.
have swept and I have washed, but still nothing is as shining as it should be for you. Under the sink, for example, is an uproar of mice. It is the season of their many children. What shall I do? And under the eaves and through the walls, the squirrels have gnawed their ragged entrances. But it is a season when they need shelter, so what shall I do? And the raccoon limps into the kitchen and opens the cupboard. While the dog snores, the cat hugs the pillow. What shall I do? Beautiful is the new snow falling in the yard, and the fox who is staring boldly up the path to the door. And still I believe you will come, Lord, you will. When I speak to the fox, the sparrow, the lost dog, the shivering snow goose, know that really I am speaking to you whenever I say, as I do all morning and evening, come in, come in. My soul is thirsting for you, my God, my God. My soul is thirsting for you, my God. My soul is thirsting for you, my God, my God. My soul is thirsting for you, my God. Oh God, you are my God, for you I sing. For you my flesh pines, and my soul thirsts, like the earth parched and lifeless. And without water, my soul is thirsting for you, my God, my God. My soul is thirsting for you, my God. And thus I will bless you while I live, lifting up my hands, I will call upon you, like a banquet, my soul shall be filled with joyful peace. I praise you. My soul is thirsting for you, my God, my God. My soul is thirsting for you, my God. You are my help and my refuge. In the shadow of your wings, I shall not die. My soul clings fast to you. Your right hand holds me.
is thirsty for you, my God.
Every year, around the beginning of December, the world seems to change a little bit. The weather gets colder, schedules get busier, projects are due, state testing picks up at schools, college visits are planned. Everything seems like it's moving with greater urgency and anticipation. It is easy to forget in the whirlwind of daily life that for us, a star has appeared in the east to guide us toward Bethlehem. The star shines brightly, unconcerned with the stresses and resentments we feel during the hectic month of December, and slowly illuminates the path to an unremarkable stable where a remarkable birth takes place. Advent is the season in which we prepare ourselves to see God in the real, actual world. Where do we see him? It's true that we see him at Mass and in the sacraments at church. But in the light of the Advent star, is there anywhere else we can see him? Maybe there is. We definitely can experience things that reveal what he is like. Maybe it's in returning home to see your children back from college, or in the long overdue conversation with an out-of-touch friend. Maybe it's in an extension given for a homework assignment or work project, or in the phone call a troubled kid makes to his dad for help. It may be something as simple as being with your family, playing with the little kids at the end of a long week. Joy, hope, and peace. This is what we long for. And this is what we see by the light of the star. And we follow the star to these things found at last in that unremarkable manger in Bethlehem.
Oh, the shepherds in Judea, they are singing soft and low, while the shepherds end their twilight on the good news long ago. Oh, the shepherds in Judea, they are singing soft and low, the song the blessed angels taught them on the hillside long ago. There's a star in the east on Christmas morn. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. It will lead to the place where the Savior's born. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Over the hills and everywhere. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. All the shepherds in Judea, they are singing to and fro. For the air grows chill at twilight, and the waiting lambs are slow. All the shepherds in Judea, they are singing soft and low, the song the blessed angels taught them on the hillside long ago. Tarried on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere go. Tarried on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds in Judea, they are thinking as they go of the light that broke their watching on the hillside in the snow. The shepherds kept their evening watch for silent flocks by night. All throughout the heavens above them, a holy light. They all tarried on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere go. Tarried on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Oh, the shepherds in Judea, they are thinking as they go of the light that broke their watching on the hillside in the snow. Oh, the shepherds days of shepherd and father. Lord, come and save us. 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 The Lord who keeps faith forever, who's kind to us. The one who does justice to those who are oppressed. It is he who gives bread to the hungry. The Lord who sets prisoners free. Lord, come and save us. 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 It is the Lord who gives sight to the blind man. Noises of those who are bowed down. It is he who loves the just man. The Lord who protects the faithful and the upright man. Lord, come and save us. 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 The Lord will save the orphan and the widow, but will thwart the ways of the wicked. The Lord shall reign forever. The God of Zion from age to age. Lord, come and save us. Lord, come and save us. Lord, come and save us. Lord, come and save us.
After telling Joseph what the angel Gabriel told her about her destiny, after Joseph tried to call off their wedding, only to have a dream from an angel, and choosing to trust her. After many months of the hopelessness of pregnancy and the nightmare of preparing to travel to Bethlehem, Mary sleeps in her home, dreaming about our future. There is a crowd and a pause, and I saw staring up at a man beaten and bruised, dying from his wounds. She said in the dream, for she knows the man is her son. She dreams on. The man speaks several times to her, though she cannot remember what he said afterwards. The man cries out in her dreams and is still. After he has died, as it is taken down from the cross, this is what Mary said. Oh, you bear the pain of the whole earth, I bore you. Oh, you whose tears give human tears their worth, I laughed at you with you. You who, when your hand is touched, give power and nourish you. You turn the day to night in this dark hour. Light comes from you. O you who hold the world in your embrace, I carried you. O you who laughed and ate and walked the shore, I played with you. And I, who with all the others died for you, now I call you. May I be faithful to this final test. In this last time, I hold you, my child, my son, his body close and folded to my breast. The older held, the bearer bare, morning to joy, darkness to morn. Open my arms, your work is done.
Your baby boy would save our souls in darkness. Did you know that your baby boy would come to make you new? This child that you deliver will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to the blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy just right when you kiss your little baby. You've kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? The deaf will hear. The deaf will hear. The lame will leap. The dumb will speak. The praises of the Lord. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy one day rule the nation? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect love? And the sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
So we decided to do a survey with the PSR kids this year about their feelings on the various aspects of the Christmas season. Questions like, what is your favorite Christmas song and why? What is your favorite part of the Christmas story? Things like that. The answers that we got were really more diverse than we expected. The Christmas song stuff, we got things like classics, Silent Night, Hark the Herald Angels King, sing O Come, O Come All Ye Faithful, O Come, Emmanuel, but also featured All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, O Christmas Tree, and the more controversial I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. There was some confusion about the question with respect to the Christmas story. We had I put up a gallery in the McBride Hall, which you guys can look after, and you start reading them, and they're things like, "Oh, I like when the wise men came," but they eventually veered off course. One particularly evocative example was, my favorite part of the Christmas story was when the dog eats the turkey and everyone went out to eat. Which, try as I might, I could not find in the Gospels. I looked. The turkey is like a North American bird, and they're in the Middle East. So I asked our parish catechetical leader, Max, like, what are you using, like supplemental Gospels, or like, what are you doing? And he's like, I think they thought you meant like the 80s movie, The Christmas Story, which is, I mean, it's really good. I like it's a good movie. Anyways, the most important part of the survey, though, was the question: if you were a wise man, what would you bring Jesus? And this question had probably my favorite answers, anyways. By percentage, the most popular gift for Jesus with the younger kid was a new Nintendo Switch Pro. Which you need to give him so many other things for that to work, like, anyways. Diamonds were popular. Gold is ever popular. But as the kids got older, the answer switched to things that were, like love and whatever. The one kid said I would give him other babies. There were a lot of good ones, but the point of this was that the kids, whether they were young or old or sort of like in the middle, whether or not they were, whether they wanted to get like the expensive video game system and probably electricity and like a television and all the things that you need, or they want to give them faith or trust or gold or anything. What I like about the answers is that by and large, it's the very, very, very best thing that they can think of. So, we're going to play, I think we do a psalm next. Think about it. What would you give to Jesus if you were a wise man? Cry out with joy and gladness, for among you is the great and holy one of Israel. Cry out with joy and gladness, for among you is the great and holy one of Israel. God indeed is my Savior. I am confident and unafraid. My strength and courage is the Lord, and He has been my Savior. With joy you will draw water at the fountain of salvation. Oh, with joy you will draw water at the fountain of salvation. Cry out with joy and gladness, for among you is the great and holy one of Israel. Give thanks to the Lord, proclaim His name among every nation. Make known His deeds. Proclaim how exalted is His name. Cry out with joy and gladness, for among you is the great and holy one of Israel.
Give praise to the Lord for all his glorious achievements. Let this be known throughout the earth. Shout with exultation, O city of Zion. For great in your midst is the Holy One of Israel. Cry out with joy and gladness, for among you is the great and holy One of Israel. Cry out with joy and gladness, for among you is the great and holy One of Israel.
He will come like last leaves fall. One night when the November wind has flayed the trees to the bone, and earth waves choking on the mold, the soft shrouds folding. He will come like frost. One morning when the shrinking earth opens on mist to find itself arrested in the net of alien sword-set beauty. He will come like dark. One evening when the bursting red December sun draws up the sheet and penny masks its eyes to yield the star-snowed fields of sky. He will come, will come like crying in the night, like blood, like breaking, as the earth writhes to toss him free. He will come like a child.
Of the Father's love begotten, ere the world began to be, He is Alpha and Omega, He the source and ending, of the things that are, that have been, and that future years shall see. Evermore and evermore. The range and sea is long, one accord, the voices of the prophets, now the demons say forward. These lines I ancient as nation praise its Lord, evermore and
My favorite part of Advent is always the giving tree. And it's so because it takes me back to my college days. My friends, Joe and Tracy, two of my closest friends, ran the giving tree every year. And sometimes people were really grateful for what they got, and sometimes they really weren't. Sometimes the campus was really grateful for their work, and sometimes they took them for granted. And this one year, they had a really great problem. They collected too many gifts. At the end of a long day of distributing gifts to people who experience poverty in the Bronx, they had these two big sacks of gifts with nowhere to take them. They called around, they found a social service agency, said they would take them off their hands, but they had to bring them down. And so off they went to the New York City subway with these two big gifts, the two big packages filled with gifts. And they got down there and they were exhausted by the end of the day, and they came back on the subway, and across from them, they found a little girl about 6 and her mother, also exhausted from the long day that they had had. And they made conversation with the little girl because they love children. And they said, Joe said to her, "So you're waiting for Santa Claus to come, huh?" And she said, "No." "No? What do you mean, no? Come on, Santa Claus comes to everybody." And she said, "No, you see, we move around a lot. And my mommy told me that it's a long way for Santa to come to the South Bronx. And Santa probably didn't get our change of address this time." And the mother next to her is looking kind of worried at this point in time. And, kids in the room, Santa needs a little help now and then. And so this little girl looked at them and said, "Well, don't worry about it." And she said, "I already got my gift." And she said, "What do you mean you already got your gift? Come on. Santa's going to come on Christmas." She said, No, not for me, and not for all the little children of the Bronx. Santa comes to Fordham University, where Joe and Tracy were students. And it's there that Santa comes a little early for all the children of the Bronx because we're so special. I'm not crying, you're crying. And Joe looks at Tracy and the tears are coming and he can't cry in front of this little kid. And he said, "Did you get what you wanted?" She said, "Yes, I get what I want every year." And Joe said, "Me too." Those wise men followed the star, and they did not know where it would lead. And when they got where they were going, imagine their surprise when they found God in a barn, laying in a makeshift crib. It was usually a feeding trough for animals. Joe and Tracy found God on the New York City subway. Mary Oliver, in our reading today, found God under her kitchen sink. Joseph in his dreams, Mary in the surprising message of an angel telling her that she was pregnant. And today, on a bright, beautiful December sunny day, this Advent, may each of you find a surprising place to find God. And when you do, may you find that God is already waiting there for you.
Awake, awake, and sleep no longer, for he who calls you is no stranger. Awake, God's own Jerusalem. Hear the midnight bells are ringing, the signal for his royal coming. Let voice to voice announce his name. We feel the footsteps near, the bridegroom at the door. Hallelujah. The lamps will shine with the light divine. With Christ the Savior comes to Please, the time is near, Lord, the crowning
And hears the sound of singing. Our hearts are filled with sudden longing. She stirs and wakes us Christ, her friend and Lord and brother, her strong and son and strong Redeemer. At last his mighty voice pleads. The Son of The fight is won, the feast begun. We fix our eyes on Christ the King. Oh, come
O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lowly exile here. To the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Angels announce that this great feast is coming from the east. Set everything and be the word, the Lord is come. Oh, taste and see today, love the Lord is on the way. Lord is on the way. The Lord is on the way. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot. I have like a million people to thank. Thank you especially to Amanda Kuntz, who's the director of the LCA Singing Saints. They did a fabulous job, and it's so good to have them. Thank you to our guitar player, Larry Meese, for rocking out when he does. Thank you to the choir for all the readers, especially Mike Hayes, who did his little homily with very little direction from me. So thank you so much. And finally, thank you so much to the orchestra. This is like the largest and most motley crew of all time. Some of them are my wife's co-workers. Some of them are from Symphony West. They all sound fabulous. Thank you so much, you guys, for making it sound so great. Thank you, thank you. And thank you also to Tim Conley for running the sound, because I was really overwhelmed and he did it for me without me needing to. Oh. Well, thanks. So now we're all gonna head down to McBride Hall. The pizzas and the food and the games and the crafts and all the stuff is down there. Go have a good time. I'll see you all down there. Thank you again so much for coming. It was really, really nice to have you all here.